5 journalists were killed today when an Israeli missile hit their vehicle in Gaza. Israel's army says members of a terrorist group called the Islamic Jihad were in that vehicle.
This as Hamas and Israel traded blame over their failure to conclude a ceasefire agreement despite progress reported by both sides in past days. NBC's Raf Sanchez reports from Jerusalem.
Hey there, the Holy Land marking a second Christmas and a second Hanukkah, with the war in Gaza still raging and Israeli hostages still in captivity in Gaza. There's been no let-up in Israeli airstrikes over the holiday period across the Strip. Early this morning, health authorities say 5 Palestinian journalists were killed when their van was hit by an Israeli missile outside of a hospital. They are from a network called Al-Quds TV. The network is saying that one of the journalists was actually waiting outside the hospital because his wife was giving birth to their child inside when this Israeli strike came down, completely destroying their press van. Israel is accusing these journalists of being Islamic Jihad operatives. They haven't yet offered details about that allegation. Ceasefire negotiations are continuing in Qatar. A senior Israeli delegation led by Israel's spy chief, the head of the Mossad, was there earlier in the week. It has now returned to Israel for discussions with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the political leadership. What we are seeing is both Israel and Hamas publicly accusing each other of adding new last-minute demands, which they say are slowing down these ceasefire negotiations. Now, it's not unusual to see this kind of bickering in public. It doesn't mean that the negotiations have collapsed altogether. It does mean it is looking increasingly unlikely that we are going to have a deal in place by New Year's, which had been the hope. There is, though, a general sense of urgency right now generated by President-elect Trump, who said that, in his words, there would be, quote, hell to pay if a deal was not in place by the time of his inauguration on January 20th. I'll send it back to you.
That was Raf Sanchez reporting. Israel struck at a rebel group in Yemen that has been supporting Hamas, firing missiles that struck just meters away from the World Health Organization's Director General, who was boarding a flight at the airport at the time.